Visasa presents Man Crush. And for you, make sure you download Visasa, by the way. Shameless plug. And also Robert Burale, aka The Coach.
It's good to be here.
Yes, sir. Of course, Roy and Sheila walk away. All right. So here's what we'll talk about today. We talk about staying true or staying faithful. And I want to put it in context. And it's one of the stories that we'll put up there. It's about it's what happens in one of the famous families, the Kardashians, or as what is the name of that prosecutor, Khan, in the ICU say Kardashians. All right. So the Kardashians. So what happened was Khloe, Tristan Thompson, was caught cheating. Well, Khloe was pregnant. Of course, there are other conspiracy theories that have come about off of that story. But the point is, it brought to the conversation of why does it always happen? And all through the show, I'll cite other examples of where it's happened, including one very senior person in the United States. So I guess let's start there. Why is it that during that 9-month period, men are susceptible to cheating?
Well, I think, number one, many men have never been taught the way the pregnancy behave, and the behavior of pregnancy, and how the temperaments changes when a woman is pregnant. And sometimes the woman contributes to chase away the man. And so the man decides.
Because of hormones?
Yes, there's a change. There's a change. There is always a change. But the problem is, men are never taught. So they get there blindly. They don't know what they're expecting. So if they have not given value to their marriage, also value to their spouses, they automatically run away. Because it's not because of the beauty. Because once you marry because of beauty, the pregnancy does not change the beauty, because it does not come to the face. Which you saw, So I don't believe it's because of the beauty, but it's because there is a lot of not understanding the situation of that particular time when the woman is pregnant. It contributes a lot. Yeah.
Right, Robert, what do you think, Coach?
Well, I think it's a weakness on the part of the man, because. How did she get pregnant? As I've always said, it wasn't yogurt you're pouring. So the fact that you made her pregnant, you participated actively in putting in that situation. So then you're running away to look for somebody else who is not pregnant to satisfy your sexual needs. So I think that's escapism from the man. If you think your wife will not be attractive when she's pregnant, why are you actively participating in ways and means to make her pregnant? So for me, I may not really blame the woman, because as Mankush says, there's temperaments. Every man should know. I mean, if you're going around having sex with your wife, we want to believe you're man enough in maturity to understand some of these things. So if she gets moody, it's because she's pregnant. And because you knew that would happen, you should have been prepared for that to happen. Otherwise then, if she gets pregnant every year for 5 years, that means for those 5 years, you'll be looking for a short-term plan. Well, is that right? I think it's a case of lack of identity in the man. If you need, you should step up to the plate. You made her pregnant. You're going to be with her. She's eating those stones, spitting on the road. You're going to be with her as she's asking for some foods that they don't normally eat. You're going to stop wearing those colognes because it's affecting her pregnancy. Don't go look for people out there. I think it's any man who does that is just a boy in a beard.
I won't support my brother, because I think there is a lack of maturity. Because when I'm mature enough, I don't think I should learn for another plan B. And I'm the one who has made her the way she is. I think I should stick to her. That is what is supposed to be. But now, look here. It depends with the time I got married and this particular time. Because as we grow, priority changes. Like now, I'm trying now to coach them and tell them 1, 2, 3, you are supposed to do this and this and this. But look, they are living in a different world. My world and the world of nowadays, they are two different worlds. And that's why I love to learn about this world, because I already know about my world.
So what is different?
The difference is maturity. Maturity, and also, I repeat again, the value that I've given my marriage. I don't think I should learn for. When my wife is pregnant, that's the time she needs me so much. But if the pregnancy makes her change, maybe hates me, I should be mature enough to know it's only for 9 months.
9 months ni muda mrefu.
Ni muda mrefu, but she don't hate me every minute.
Right.
She hates me when I need something.
Sporadically.
Yeah. So I should avoid that for this particular time because I'm mature. Yeah. If I lack maturity, I don't think I'll make it in marriage.
And by the way, who said you cannot come together with your wife when she's pregnant? You can still engage.
Even the last day.
There are two schools of thought.
She may not be as active, but you still can.
Yes, but there are some who during that time the hormones in us Z. History, we have closed shop.
So the man should zip up for those 6-7 months.
That
for me is one of that for me is one of the signs of a sure man, a well-founded man, that you don't get your kicks out of sexual fantasy. If you go into marriage, you have said, for better or for worse, through various circumstances of life, changing circumstances of life. So you have to step up in the plate. And yes, as Mankush says, yes, maybe sometimes the women push you, but nobody can ever give an excuse and say, my husband made me sleep with that man, my wife made me sleep with that woman. Your feet go already where your mind has already been. You understand? So nobody has put a gun on your head and unzipped your trouser. So I ran away from men and women who said, my husband, my wife pushed me into it. Our pregnancy pushed me into it. Then when she gives birth, you'll be there carrying the baby and saying, wow, this is my seed. And yet, by cheating on your pregnant wife, you're also disrespecting your own seed. Yeah.
Oof, that's. Right, we're going to go. There's a story from the UK. One of the famous footballers, that is Wayne Rooney, who was caught cheating, and it's an interesting story, and I want just to have a look at it because of the topic. This was reported by one of the papers there. I just want to have a brief look at it and go through it because it's what Robert Burale has alluded to and passed as well. Carol McGriffin, who was the lady that Rooney cheated on with, says that it was Rooney's wife's fault. Rooney's wife is called Colleen Rooney, saying that Rooney's cheating was her fault. Several things arise from this that I want us to talk about. One, so she says that she's referring to this was a scandal that hit the Rooney household when they were rocked by claims that he hugged and kissed another 29-year-old woman shortly before being arrested for drink driving, all while the pregnant wife, that is Colleen, was meant to be relaxing on holiday. Sent Colleen on holiday, said, baby, you're pregnant, go relax. I got this down, akapatikana. And she said, Colleen said that Rooney's wife was being used as a doormat because she has stuck with Rooney, who is she describes a serial cheater, and allowing him to humiliate her yet again. She wrote, and I want to quote, poor wife Colleen, pregnant with his fourth child, had supposedly to rush back from her holiday to sort this mess out. I suppose I should feel sorry for her, but I'm afraid I don't, largely because she's the reason it keeps happening. And that goes to my question to you guys about, so whose fault is it? Because she seems to be saying, classic response, anasema, huu ni msichana wako, control, handle your business. Otherwise, you jamaa atakuja hapa and there's nothing I can do. What do you think, guys?
First and foremost, I think that woman who is saying that is absolutely immature, foolish, for lack of a better word. You can't go breaking somebody else's marriage and then you blame it on his wife, whatever it is, you know. And one thing this side chicks must understand is that also men have this strategy of saying, you know, I am going through this and this with my wife to get sympathy. And at that time, maybe the wife has done nothing wrong. And then the moment you give him a shoulder to lean onto, the thigh will show. And by the time the thigh is showing, you're already down south. So ladies, you also got to understand it is one of the oldest strategies men use. As long as that man is still living with his wife, he will not leave his wife for you. In fact, if you ask, the side chick is cheaper.
I also want to add on that and say that maturity is lacking here, because there is no need of bragging to somebody's wife because you have been messing around with the husband. And that's exactly what the lady is doing, because she's lacking her upstairs learning banana, may I say that, lacking a better word. Because I don't think there is maturity at all to do that, because you are putting a wound in her heart that nobody will ever heal it. Why should you do it? And you are doing it only knowing that tomorrow you are also getting married. How will you feel when somebody comes to brag about what he has done with your husband? So it's a tit for tat. So whatever you are planting, expect to harvest.
But she mentioned something there which is also interesting, the fact that this is not the first time, and even before this case there are several cases of Rooney cheating, and she's stuck there. And so that's the other thing. Can you spot and I know most people are asking, this person anakuwa faithful sana, can you spot a cheater? Are there signs that huyu jamaa kuna vile ikifika hiyo time at a bolt?
It's actually easier to spot a man than a woman who is cheating. A woman who is cheating is like the CIA. By the time you are discovering, she has retired. But for a man, men are very easy to spot, because roving eyes, excited in the presence of other women, trying to flirt with other women, that is usually a very, very bad a sign for men. But women really can hide. But having said that, you've said the ladies has stayed and the man has cheated not once, not twice, not thrice. First and foremost, what it tells me about this other side chick who is boasting is that there's nothing special about her. It means the man is just a serial cheater. You understand? Because now he's done with her, he'll move to woman number 6. But I don't believe the woman should be blamed. The maturity of the man should be able to tell him that I respect my body, my status as a man, as a husband and as a father, that I will not go unzipping where I'm not supposed to unzip.
Well, I also think that sometimes we Africans, we are so much guided by our culture, because these guys we are talking about now, most of them, they don't have culture in their whatever. But we have culture. We know when we are doing wrong and when we are doing right. We are being guided by it now, because they don't have culture to guide them. I think they can go astray and do anything they feel like, only not knowing that they are only spoiling their future.
And also, just a few comments here. Remember, you can talk to us using 22422. And Kevin from Buru says, will you see a scenario Kardashians kwanza sio poa, because he believes that anything that happens in that family is a plan to create more drama for the mother. Evans here says, hi, I'm Evans. I need to speak to Robert for some advice. Give him my number.
So Evans, I'll get in touch with you.
Evans is Yali, tutaku hook up. So talk to us using the SMS 22422. And so another thing, just to try to put this, because we've talked about blame and who's to blame, because the truth of the matter is, for somebody who's watching, and this is a lady, this has happened to them, the reflex is to blame themselves. So what does somebody do in such a scenario?
Well, I was taught by my mom that there is nobody who is perfect, and everybody is looking for perfection, for that matter. And I was also taught to say sorry when I do something wrong. Now there is no sorry to this. They are trying to justify what they have done and show the world that they are right. But if only they were taught how to say sorry, yes, I did it because I'm not perfect, I'll never repeat it, I'm sorry for that. I think that's the best medicine to cure all this scenario. But now, are they ready to do that? And also the viewers, are you ready to say sorry to the person you have offended? And saying sorry is saying sorry and never repeat it again. Because saying sorry today and repeat it tomorrow, it does not augur well with the word sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think for those who they blame themselves, for the lady now who maybe this has happened to them, pregnant or not, because it could be even when the lady is on the red days, so to speak, and such a thing happens. What do they?
First and foremost, and I've dealt with such cases when a lady says, or is it me? Is it my body? Is it, am I not doing enough? And the moment you do that, you start justifying something that should never be justified. I don't think there's anything wrong with the lady, you know, or the man for that matter, whoever is being cheated on. Never take the place of blame. You understand? Or maybe don't I dress well enough? For me, I'm a believer of one thing. If you respect yourself, you'll respect everything that you carry. That means also your private parts. If you don't respect it, you have no reason to stand on any ground and say you can speak and people should listen. It's akin to somebody boasting with his father's Range Rover Sport. You cannot sit in the company of men who own bicycles. So you need to understand that if you don't respect yourself to a certain level, you can't sit in any table and say, I have something worth speaking. And especially to the ladies who blame themselves when men cheat and their husbands cheat on them. It has to end today. It's never about you. You didn't tell that man, go and sleep with that woman. And that's why you're hurting, because you didn't expect him to do that. It's now what we call personal responsibility. Sometimes, yes, you can be pushed. Let me not be too spiritual for utter irrelevance. You can be pushed into the arms of another woman or into the arms of another man. But when you respect yourself, it's like, I will not be pushed to disrespect myself, because sleeping around is not really hurting the other person. Is telling the whole world you are as empty as they come, as an individual.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know, just as we continue to put this in context, all about what happens during pregnancy and even after pregnancy. Recently, one of the biggest talking points in the United States was the relationship of President Donald Trump and an adult film star, Stormy Daniels. Take a listen.
No, but I didn't say no. I'm not a victim. I'm not.
It was entirely consensual.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Daniels says she and the future president instantly connected. First, over a magazine featuring him on the cover.
And so I was like, does this normally work for you? And he looked very taken back, like he didn't really understand what I was saying. Like, does just, you know, talking about yourself normally work? And I was like, someone should take that magazine and spank you with it. And I'll never forget the look on his face. So he turned around and pulled his pants down a little. You know, he had underwear on and stuff, and I just gave him a couple swats.
After that exchange, Daniels says the president furthered his interest.
He's like, you're smart, and beautiful, and a woman to be reckoned with. And I like you.
And in a new allegation, Daniels says she was once physically threatened to keep quiet about the alleged affair. She says it happened in 2011.
Yeah, so that's the latest controversy that is still rocking the Trump administration. Not happening during the story really is because the fact that she was later paid $130,000 by the law there. You're not supposed, that is something like hush money, and then also there's a limit as to how much you can give somebody during a campaign period. So that's why it's a whole case. But it just goes back, and interesting even about this, we were having a conversation earlier on. Nobody is talking about Melania, which is the wife, because this is when she had just given birth to the last born right now. So for someone like, you know, that with all the power, all the money, and it still happens.
Well, I can say that to Melania, she's a wise lady, because silence is never misquoted, and she's showing high level of maturity. But now the problem with Triumph is he formed a habit. But now the problem with the habit he formed, it is deciding his future. No wonder that's even the papers are saying that he is not worthy to be in that public office.
The latest actually is there's even a doorman. You
see, because he only didn't know the power of a habit that you are beginning. And I want all the viewers to understand this and to look me and hear well. Don't form a habit which you are not ready to house it in future. Because you will form it, it will decide your future. And maybe your future, you will not be a good role model, because now, who can like to be the president now? He's not a good role model. The reason I'm doing what I'm doing is not because of what I'm getting, but I want to be a role model to many. They should say, why is somebody asking for for my brother's number. Because he is a role model. Whatever he's saying, somebody, I can pick something from that guy. Yeah. What about if he had formed a habit, which now is destroying his future? Nobody could even like to associate with him. Yeah.
So in that case, for somebody who cheats, because like even that Rooney incident, this was like, I think the third time. So in that case, you know, I know anasemanga kama ni ndoo achia watu wawili hao wanajua kitu wanapitia, but should you stay? Can you work it out after? What happens?
As Mankush said, it's useless saying sorry today and doing the same thing again tomorrow. But if you show there is a way that you're trying to make amends, to really get away from that which had brought a strife in your marriage, then that's better. But you can't be cheating week in, week out, month in, month out. You're going for an away match and you have a girlfriend in Everton, you have another one in Manchester, you have another one in London, and you keep on saying sorry. Sorry without change is actually disrespecting the other person. But I'm also very careful, like the case of President Trump. There's the curse of being the American president. 90 of all the accusations that are being leveled against him, or anyone who may take that position in future, a greater percentage are people who have been paid just to say some things. You know, America is a crazy country. Somebody can even say, I slept with the president, and they've never even met him. So until now we get, the good thing about America is that when they investigate you, they can really get to the bottom of the matter. Until we get to that place, America, for me, anything is possible. Somebody can say they have known you, they have slept with you, and they have never met you. Because remember, also America has, Washington has what you call high-stakes political gamesmanship. And President Trump is the first president who has not come from the political class. So the political class are not comfortable with him as well. So you never know. People can be paid to just tarnish his name. I'm not his lawyer. I'm not saying, but I'm just saying that. And I do understand, I mean, even you as a public figure, you, in your own level, you're not a Trump, but in your own level, things have been said, or if they have not, please remember this, they will be said. And you even sit and say, wow, I wish that was me. You understand what I'm saying? So there are things even Mankush, they'll say about you, but you even wonder, how did somebody just sit and come up with that? I remember some time back, somebody says, I've seen Robert enter Serena Hotel with a woman. That time I was preaching in Dallas. Not Dallas, Dallas.
I was about to say Dallas.
Yes.
Dallas.
Yeah, so the cheating, yes, I do believe a marriage can survive infidelity. But if both decide to work hard, and the one who stepped out must show there is a direction they're taking to make amends. But today you do it, you apologize, and there's tears and whatever, and then a week later you're doing the same thing, then your marriage will not stand.
One such incident that happened as well, and probably is a testament to what Robert is saying, is one of this very famous couple, Jay-Z and Beyonce. Let's listen to what he had to say about these allegations, or rather what happened.
You took an unprecedented stand to fight for this marriage. I mean, to fight for it and to put it all out there. What is it about this marriage that's so special that you would fight this hard to save it?
Well, it's my soulmate. It's the person I love, you know. And you can be in love with someone. You can love someone and and if you haven't experienced love and you don't understand it and you don't have the tools to move forward, then you're gonna have complications, period. And if you can either address it or you can pretend until it blows up at some point. And, you know, for us, we chose to fight for our love, for our family, to give our kids a different outcome. You see, you know, to break that cycle. For black men and women, you know, to see a different outcome. Like you were saying, it's not this celebrity couple. We were never a celebrity couple. We were a couple who just happened to be celebrities.
That's beautiful.
Like real people.
Yeah. What advice would you have for men who have caused pain in marriages? I mean, it's easy. I mean, somebody like you.
The best apology is change behavior, right? But change behavior, one, and then also you have to, you know, you have to acknowledge the pain. You have to let that person have their say. You have to
Yes, sir. That was what Jay-Z had to say. Some interesting comments that have come in here, and people asking for help. I know you have just a few minutes, but there's a lady here called Anne. Says, "Hi, I'm Anne. Nimepata message kwamba bwanangu ako na mtoi nje, and this happened when she was pregnant. Na nikamuuliza lakini anakataa. So I'm confused. What do I do? Please advise."
Number one, before I advise her, I should like to tell ladies and also men who are out there, please don't make your ears a dustbin. Because as my friend says here, anybody can cook any story to destroy your marriage. So if you keep on reasoning to the stories which are being cooked, you will end up destroying a good thing which could have remained until end. Don't keep on reading other people's stories about you because you don't know yourself the way they have written the story about you. Be like that Penguin, American band. If they did investigation whether it can fly, but it did not read the report. So until now, it is still trying to fly because it did not read the report. So the problem with my sister here is reading the report about their marriage, her wife, her brother, her sister. If you keep on reading from other people, you'll end up not having any partner in life. So it's good to have a power of making decisions, who to reason and what to reason.
And also just to add on that, there's another one who says she's just on top of the first one, who says she got the message like she's saying. And this one who says that I'm a mom, I have 2 kids, I'm married, but my husband always cheats on me and says sorry every time, and he repeats it, and I'm hurt. How can you advise me?
If it becomes serial cheating, there's a problem. And even in my position, if somebody came and asked me, and they say they're cheating every time, 10 times, and you're still there, sorry doesn't hold any water at this point, because as we had, the best apologies are changed behavior. And in this day and age, we have diseases. You understand what I'm saying? And if a man or a woman out there will sleep with a married person, it means you're not the only one. So they're sleeping with other people. So imagine you'll go there, pick some things, and bring to your wife or to your husband who has been loyal to you. So there comes a time you tell somebody, you know what? Yes, they're children. Move out. Go so far. Sort yourselves while you're apart. Because this is what happens. As long as you're still sharing the same bed, you'll get annoyed, there'll be tears, there'll be slaps, there'll be, you know, oh my goodness, why did you cheat on me? And then one day, in the heat of the moment, you will come together and your bodies will become one. And at that time, what you got to realize is that maybe the previous day, he had picked something out there and then he brings it to you. And then what happens? You both get in a situation, then you leave your kids with nobody. So I would advise, and some people will hit me for this, but if there's serial cheating, it's just like somebody being physically abused, I would advise them without fear of contradiction. Leave that home, sort your issues while you're apart. Otherwise, you'll be both digging your own grave. Yeah.
And also to that, because I know we've talked about what people who are currently in that situation, but women will ask, and maybe that's how we can wrap up. And that's because I've seen some text just saying, why do men cheat?
And I'll correct that. Men are the ones who are caught.
Oh, yeah?
You'll give a woman a space to park a Vitz, she will park a lorry. Women also cheat. And they are so good at cheating. By the time you're realizing...
She's retired, you said.
You are both on your way out of this world. She cheated on you 50 years ago. And how did you hide it? And having said that, it's both sides. And because men are the ones who are caught, for me, I take it back to identity. Nobody who is a grown-up, who has reached the age of maturity that can get a national identity card, should ever look at anybody and say, my spouse pushed me into cheating. If anybody says that, they need to be slapped 7+1 times, because cheating is a personal decision. If a man cheats on you when you're pregnant, you can bet your bottom dollar he will cheat on you when you still have a figure 8 body. It is not about your status. It is about his status or her status. The person who is cheating will cheat on you regardless. Yeah.
Well, I'll also like to conclude by saying that when you're cheating, is a decision you have made to cheat. Unless you yourself decides not to cheat, nobody can say that men are more cheaters than women. We should not judge it like that. We all cheat. By the way, we are not sinners because we cheat. We were born sinners. It's only you to know how to get out of the sin that you are born in. Otherwise, if you don't get out of it, you'll continue with what you are born to be. So, not cheating is a matter of making a decision. And that decision cannot be made by somebody who is not mature. So let's grow up. Let's grow up. Let's be mature.
So it's maturity and identity.
And maturity is not age. Eh? Yeah.
Some people are really going personal. I guess some of these ones, because they're really deep, I don't think we'll air them or say them. I guess we'll give them to you to talk. Because this one I've read here that's quite,
hot.
Yes. So we, usiku. But we'd like to say thank you, gentlemen, so much for coming through.
Thank you.
Coach Robert, Pastor Kuria Mankush. Like we always say, we have these conversations, and at the end of the day, you make the decision. And just like both have said, it's about maturity. At the end of the day, you decide, and you get to live with the decisions you make. And don't blame anyone if you're the one who made the conscious decision to do it.